Wales and southwest England have been rocked by the biggest earthquake to hit the UK in 10 years. The tremor, which measured 4.4 on the Richter scale, was centered 8 miles northeast of Swansea in CWMLLY and FELL. It is the biggest earthquake to hit the UK a decade after a 5.2 quake was recorded in Market Rasen, Lincolnshire on February 27, 2008. Dyfed police said in a statement they are receiving an extremely high call volume reporting some sort of earth tremor in the area, as well as residents in Newport, Cardiff and Swansea reporting that they were affected by the earthquake. Tremors were felt in Bristol and Cornwall. Several buildings in the southwest of England were damaged during the earthquake. Avon Fire and Rescue Service said. Their spokesperson said, "We have had a half a dozen calls to report the earthquake. We have responded to one in the Bristol area to give advice after concerns about structural damage. We attended the home in the Knoll area and made checks and couldn't find any damage. We would encourage anyone with similar concerns, particularly if they have issues with subsidence, to contact a structural engineer or the landlord." The UK is expected to have an earthquake measuring 5.0 and higher on the Richter scale about once every 8 years. Tremors between 1.0 and 1.9 are expected across the country every 2.5 days. The biggest earthquake in recent years was on February 27, 2008, with Market Rasen, Lincolnshire at its epicenter. It measured 5.2 on the Richter scale and was felt across much of Britain, including in Newcastle, Yorkshire, London, the Midlands, Norfolk and Wales. In the past 5 years there have been 14 earthquakes in the UK, including today's. Gwynedd in Wales was hit by a 3.8 tremor on May 29, 2013. And on August 25 of the same year, Blackpool in Lancashire was hit with shakes ranging from 2.3-3.3 on the scale. On February 20, 2014, the Bristol Channel experienced the UK's biggest quake in 6 years, measuring 4.1 on the Richter scale. 5 more followed that year, with epicenters in Rutland, April 12 and 18. The North Sea, May 20, and Jersey, July 11 and July 28. The East Midlands were rocked once again on January 28, 2015, when tremors returned to Rutland, with that year's other quakes falling in Sandwich, Kent, 4 months later, when Gwynedd. South Wales was also hit in separate tremors. There were 2 earthquakes in one day in Moddart in the Highlands of Scotland on August 4 this year. The tremor at 3.43 p.m. measured 3.8 and one at 3.45 p.m. was 3.4. The whole building just rocked. The championship shield moved but is safe. Earthquake Wales pic.twitter.com/JLVEAM1Z. Anthony Collins from Trowbridge in Wiltshire told Wales Online, "I was sat on my settee and all my ornaments and my cabinets began to shake. My daughter has been on social media and as everyone seems to have felt it." Thousands described their experience on social media after the mini-quake happened at 2.31 p.m. Floors shook across Merseyside as residents in Liverpool and the surrounding area reporting buildings shaking and the ground moving. On Twitter, others took to social media to joke about the devastation wrought in the form of turned-over chairs and smashed plant pots. Scientists at the European Mediterranean Seismological Centre (EMSC) described it as a strong earthquake and said South Wales was the epicenter. Alison Morgan, who works at Uplands Newsagent in Swansea, said, "My colleague noticed it first and wine bottles in the shop were shaking and a tile fell off the ceiling. I thought it was a lorry going past, but it was an earth tremor. It was a significant feeling that went on for about 2 seconds. I was moving from left to right suddenly despite being stood on the same spot. The last one I experienced was in the 1980s when I lived in Pembrokeshire." Linda Davis said on Twitter, "Lying on my bed suffering from tonsillitis and my bed and chandelier shook. Only an earthquake in Sairfully near Cardiff." All over the net, Laura Davies posted, "Felt very strong here in Cardiff. Earthquake at Foodie Feed EFC said definitely an earthquake in Liverpool about 10-15 minutes ago. Windows rattled and bed shook from side to side. Thought I was going mental for a second, Laura Hughes said. The whole house just started shaking, was then almost crushed by the dog jumping on me for protection. Interesting way to die, Cardiff. The British Geological Survey said we're in the process of analysing data for the felt report of a tremor in the southwest of England. As soon as we know more, we'll let you know. Event epicenter approximately 20 kilometers NNE of Swansea with 4.4 magnitude at a depth of 7.4 kilometers.
Where the freaks at?